I am Ryan Delaney. It is June 7th, 2020, and this is my presentation on the Case Connection 4. So today I'll be presenting on Case 2 and Case 3 from the assignment. So Case 2, it deals with phenylketonuria. So phenylketonuria is a genetic disorder caused by the mutation of the PAH gene. The PAH disorder is passed down in a recessive pattern, requiring both parents to have the mutation for the child to have a chance of having phenylketonuria. Because there are two copies of the PAH gene, the child would have a 25% chance of receiving both mutated forms of the PAH gene. So, if both parents are carriers, that means they have a 25% chance of having a child with phenylketonuria. The PAH gene encodes for the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase. This enzyme turns phenylalanine into tyrosine in the body. So phenylalanine hydroxylase also uses tetrahydrobiopterin, or BH4, as a cofactor in its reaction, and oxygen is consumed in the reaction as well as water is produced. The deficiency of phenylalanine hydroxylase means that tyrosine can no longer be produced in the body and must be emphasized in the diet. So tyrosine then becomes an essential amino acid for those with the disease. Additionally, phenylalanine accumulates in the blood, and excess phenylketones are present in the urine. This can be found in the patient's blood test, but most patients with the disorder are screened at birth for the disease. So, moving on to the next slide, tetrahydrobiopterin, or BH4, is a cofactor for phenylalanine hydroxylase and other enzymes that occur naturally in the body. BH4 has been reported to be effective in lowering blood serum phenylalanine levels in patients with phenylketonuria. The exact mechanism of action is not fully agreed upon, but some suggest that BH4 helps the PAH folding conformations, which increases the PAH activity and then reduces blood phenylalanine levels. However, there is variability among those that have phenylketonuria who respond to BH4 supplements. So even though patients have similar genetic mutations, their responsiveness to BH4 can vary from one person to the next. It is suggested that patients undergo a trial period of BH4 responsiveness testing to determine the required concentration of supplemented BH4. So looking at the data shown in the slide, in the graph, there's a difference between BH4 treatment between patient A and B, shown in the graph. Blood levels for each patient of phenylalanine were taken at time 0, 4, and 8 hours after loading. Each patient was given a synthetic cofactor of BH4 that was dissolved in 20 mL of water in dim light and administered to the patient at least 30 minutes before the meal. So if you look at the graph, patient A shows a trend in increased phenylalanine blood levels at 4 hours and 8 hours after loading and eating the meal. Patient B shows a trend in decreasing blood phenylalanine in the timestamps post BH4 loading and consumption of the meal. It seems as though that these results show that patient B shows a much higher responsiveness in BH4 supplements. Additionally, patient A shows a very low responsiveness to the concentration of loaded BH4. This is because the concentration continues to increase for patient A as time goes on as the meal is digested. So patient A would require a larger concentration of BH4 to help alleviate phenylketonuria. So this concludes case 2. I'll be moving on to case 3, which deals with gout. So in case 3, a 47-year-old man 47-year-old man presents with severe pain in his right great toe with no traumatic uh, event apparent. So blood samples are drawn and urinary analysis is performed. The results are shown here on the right of those tests. The patient has elevated levels of plasma urate and low levels of urinary uric acid. So first off, high levels of plasma urate is a precipitating factor for gout, as well as other metabolic diseases. Uric acid is the end product of purine metabolism and exists normally in the salt form of urate in the blood. Once urate concentrations reach above normal levels being about 6.8 mg per deciliter of blood, crystals of uric acid form as monosodium urate. So monosodium urate has been found to cause inflammation seen in gout. And gout is the medical condition characterized by red, tender, and swollen joints caused by acute inflammatory arthritis. That is shown in the image on the left side of the slide. So additionally, the patient shows low levels of uric acid in the urinary analysis as well. This leads me to believe that the cause of gout is the decreased in urinary excretion of uric acid. So this decreased level of excretion would cause the levels of urate in the blood to increase as it has nowhere to go and it be excreted from or to. Alternatively, the other options are, decreased salvage of purines, which is commonly associated with many neurological symptoms with the gout. And as the patient has not mentioned issues like this, it's very unlikely that the decreased salvage of purines is the cause of the gout in this patient. And then lastly, there could be overproduction of purines, which may cause the gout. However, more information around the patient's lifestyle and diet would be needed, as the patient is 47-year-old male, and has not come upon these similar problems before. After further discussion with the patient, he has revealed that he has recently switched from diet soda to regular soda from concerns around fake sugar as advertised with the diet soda. He says he consumes between 4 and 5 liters of soda a day. So soft drinks are very popular in the US and contain high levels of fructose and high fructose corn syrup. The consumption of fructose in the US has increased considerably since the introduction of high fructose corn syrup into foods like soft drinks. This increase in fructose consumption coincide with increasing trends in blood serum uric acid, as seen here with the patient, and almost doubling of gout occurrence over the past few decades in the US alone. It has been demonstrated that within minutes of fructose infusion, serum levels of uric acid rise as well. Fructose induces uric acid production by increasing ATP degradation to AMP. A National Health Nutritional Examination study showed that both artificial drinks like soft drinks and natural drinks like orange juice, which are high in fructose, both cause increased levels of uric acid. In contrast, diet soft drinks were not associated with blood serum uric acid increases. This is because most diet sodas are advertised to contain no high fructose corn syrup. So therefore, this patient who just switched from diet to regular soda at such high volumes of soft drink consumption in a day is probably experiencing an increase in production of purines in the body. So switching from diet soda to regular would cause a huge spike in fructose intake in the diet and cause the metabolic changes that I just discussed earlier. So this seems to be the main cause of the presentation of gout, as the patient recently switched sodas and recently began seeing the presentation of gout. Additionally, so this seems to be the main cause of the presentation of gout. But additionally, the urinary urinary uric acid excretion is still low, suggesting that the low excretion of uric acid in the urine may be a development of poor kidney function and could be a supporting cause for the increased blood uric acid levels seen in this patient, and possibly a contribution to the presentation of gout. So this concludes my presentation on the case 2 and case 3 of Case Connection 4 assignment. Thank you for listening.